Sir, I don't know if I can do it.
Now listen here, young lady. I haven't taken you off the streets, out of your favela, just to see you fail. I believe in you. I know you can do it. I'm certain that you will be the best driver there has ever been.
Yeah, but I don't have a driver's license.
That's
I
a
can
formality.
drive.
That's a formality. I
Okay.
know that you can drive. I've
Yeah.
seen you out there. I've seen you drive around in circles and push
When?
that gas pedal.
When?
I'm certain you can do it. I know you do it. Come on, believe in you. If I believe in you, then you have to, really. Okay, great. Come on, now get out there and get us that cup.
Yeah.
Get
I mean,
it.
woo!
Get it.
Okay.
Get it. Yeah, hi. Nah, she's rubbish. Just put 2 million on red team. No. She's really bad at it. I know what you're thinking, but this is not a driving game. This is a betting game. Because in Downforce, lovely Downforce, which is designed by Wolfgang Kramer and published by Restauration games, respectively Yellow in Europe, is all about being the manager of a scuderia. So what you're doing is merely betting on cars that you might own or might not own. So in general, this is just about making dough. The game itself is relatively simple. It has two basic phases. The first one is a betting phase where you will be betting on the different cars that exist. So basically you will be putting money out to own one of the 6 plastic cars here. So for once, this is not just let's play with dead trees, but also with chemicals, I guess, probably. On your turn, you will be using cards. Those cards that are all shuffled up and provided to every single player equally. So if there are cards left after everyone has gotten theirs, those will be discarded. All of those basically have the same information on them. A number and colors. The number represents how far that car of that color will travel. Cars move always in the direction they are facing. They may not go sideways or not move or go back. That would not really make sense. It is still a race. If on my turn I play this card, I will have to move those cars, all of them, doesn't matter if those are mine or not, in that specific order by those specific numbers. So I will begin with orange. That's it. Yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then blue. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3. For red. 1, 2. Can't go further. Then green. Can't move at all. And black. 1.
Howdy, folks! So as you can see, us drivers, we have it pretty darn easy. We just do whatever the boss tells us to do. In this case, I am the red driver, so I will just continue to drive as the boss tells me to do. I will take my car, and then I will just continue onwards with the spaces and drive to the right. Wait, to the right? Wait, I'm supposed to turn to the left. This ain't NASCAR.
We at Let's Play with Dead Trees would like to extend our sincerest apologies for this very stereotypical portrayal of redneck NASCAR drivers. We do not condone such behavior, unless it is of course meant as a callback to a very, very funny South Park episode. Not
all cards have all of the cars on them at all times. Like this, for instance, this will only move blue, orange, and yellow. While this one is a bit special. The wild card, the wild symbol or color, means the person who plays it may choose whichever other card that isn't on the card to move that number of spaces. In this case, I could say black moves 5 and then blue 2.
We left out the part where we auction for the different cars up until now. The auction is pretty straightforward and very simple. You will just take a card and put it face down in front of you until everyone has done so for that specific car. In this case, it would be yellow that is now up for auction. I would then reveal my card and show that I have bid 4 millions for the yellow car. With each car comes also a power that is randomly chosen. That specific power is usually the reason why you will bet on a specific car. In that case, you always move your cars even on other people's turns, which you usually wouldn't. But we will not go into details on the different powers. I think they are relatively self-explanatory, and in the rulebook itself you have an explanation on each of them. Another important thing with the auction phase, somebody may, because you probably will play with less than 6 players and there are 6 cars, each and every car needs to be selected. So you will probably end up with somebody having 2 or 3 cars even, depending on how many players that you are. But even if you own more than 1 car, from the powers that are put out, that you have received because you have now a few cars, you will still just choose one of those and the other one will be discarded. So the player will just have one single power at any time. So up until now, everything seems to just be a normal racing game. Just put cards out and at some point one of you will pass the finishing line. But if it were that simple, we wouldn't recommend the game. There is another thing that is really, really good, and what I hinted on in the beginning of the video. We actually just want money. That's where the betting system comes in. If during your turn any car would pass one of those yellow lines, we begin with betting. So in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. We all stop playing, don't play any cards or anything else. We now check which car we will bet our money on. This is the first line, so we would now cross bet 1. If, for instance, I would like to bet my money on green, I would cross green. And if green is then the first, the second, or the third at the end of the game, I would receive that amount of money respectively because I bet on him. That is why it is very important to think about who you will be betting on, because even if you have a car that is unfortunately really, really bad and is pretty much still at the beginning of the track at the end of the game, that doesn't really matter in the end, because if you bet correctly, you will still be first. You will still go home with the most amount of money.
Play around!
So I'm just giving out the cards now, every single one of them, because we are now playing as a normal 2-player game. There are no rules, restrictions, or differences in rules depending on the number of players. So now evenly distributed, that is our whole deck of cards each. And now we're going to bet. So first one is yellow, just because, and as a power we will now have for yellow, cunning. You always move your cards even on other people's turns, so the one that we saw already earlier, but no problem. Okay, so I have decided to put up this many millions, now we will turn over the cards and I bet 2 millions. Well, you bet 2 millions, but because you have a wild, I will get it. Because the wild is basically the one that counts out in case of a tie. So that's my card and this is my power, and I add those 8 to my deck of cards. So now we'll put out black with, in total here, you will play a card with a wild on it. You may use that wild for a color that is already on the card. That is a very powerful ability. I will auction 6 millions because I really want that card. So, okay, so my second card together with that one and second ability. And I will probably just keep that one. And we continue like this until every card is given. Cut. Well, we'll now play one round. The player whose car is put on this space really randomly begins. So in this case, because I'm the one controlling the black driver, I will then begin and I will play this card. So what I'm going to do is 6 green. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And because of my ability, I can move it 2 more spaces. 1, 2. Then black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then orange. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yellow. 1, 2, 3. Then blue. 1, 2. And red. 1. Okay, my turn is over.
Okay.
I will now just discard this card here, and then we are going to continue.
I will play this card. Go 6 with the red one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With black, just 1.
Yeah, thank you.
And while, because of my ability, I can choose the color on my card for a card to move or whatever I want. So I will choose the orange because orange is mine. 1, 2. Green 1.
Next turn. So it's really quick. I mean, that's actually a very good count for that. So green 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. So we passed a line. So after I've done the movement for every car, we will then begin with betting. We will see that. So then blue 4. 4 doesn't work. Orange, nothing. And black 1. Okay, so now we're going to bet. Okay, so now I will put my bet.
Let's check. So
Okay, so I can show the camera where I put my bet. Okay, that's how the board looks like right now, and we are now betting for a second time. For the camera. Now the board looks like this, and green just passed the third betting line, so now we are going to bet. Yeah. Pretty unsurprisingly, I will continue to bet like this. So now I'm gonna play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 1, 2. And with my green, I am passing the finish line, which makes him first place. And we still continue to play until at least the 5th one passes the finishing line. So now we're done. Last thing to do is just to determine how much money we made. For me, I invested this much money, so I put it already here. And I bet that green would win, which it did. So I am going to circle 1, 2, 3, because I bet 3 times on the first one. Then racing payouts, I am first. Then The next one for me is yellow, so I am also third. And the black one is fourth. So I get a total of this much money. So in total, 40 minus 10, I get 30 millions. Now, for Sarah, we have here an auction total of 4. Black got in fourth, so no money there. Red got second, so here 6 millions. And then as the second bet, green, which got first place, so 6 million. So in total, 12 million in betting. Then red, second place, plus orange and blue, which means from the racing, you got 11. So in total, 23 minus 4, 19 millions. And that's it. We're done.
And I won.
Downforce is awesome. It is very simple. You can teach it to anyone and anyone will really understand how to play it very quickly. And for the amount of work that goes into understanding and playing that game, it's just a blast. You just play it within 20-30 minutes. It's pretty quick in general, even with more players, because the cards just fly around by themselves, more or less. And the whole point of the game is really to just say, okay, I will not let you win. I will not let you go home with those 12 millions. And try to do something about it, but most of the time you will not be able to, because the cards are pretty much stacked against you all the time. And you just try to mitigate at best what those weird drivers that don't know exactly what they are doing into getting you the most money possible by betting against yourself and betting on friends or against friends. So that's really, really fun. It's nonsense. I should really stop saying nonsense. It's great. Seriously, just get the damn game. Well, if you're like me and you have a gambling addiction, like the video and subscribe to our channel, because we have a lot of other things that your wife and your kids will hate you for generations, because you spend so much money on stuff you don't need or want.